we kind of shattered this one. I'm just going to bring in my friend Kelly Pantaleoni here because I just want to have a good time, chill, and hang out together with all of you out there. How's it going, Kelly?
So good. I'm just going onto your page right now. Oh no, there's a big delay.
And I think, how much have you been zooming back to the States? Oh, hey, Tony D.
I had to, sorry, I was on your page looking at the full screen, and then I was just listening back to myself because there was a delay, and it was, it was me talking to myself. So I'm getting out of that.
Yeah, but if you want to see yourself, you could turn the volume off in that one, I think, underneath the video. Yeah, so you are in Sydney, Australia, the other side of the world. And what's it like there today? Is it a beautiful sunny day?
It is. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's quite hot. So I just turned the aircon on. And I'm tired because I went to do a workout this morning, and then I was playing a song, and I thought it would be funny to shoot just a comedy workout routine. So I ended up doing that instead. It was a really good workout. I'm actually exhausted now. It was to Cardi B's new song Up. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I'll be posting that soon.
Oh my gosh. Wait, where are you going to post that, like on Instagram or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to spread it out on my socials then. So make sure I see it. That'll be fun. That's
going to be absurd.
That's pretty fun, actually, because just by chance, you happen to be a filmmaker, a writer, a director. You've probably produced something here or there, I'm sure. So, but just going to do your workout and then making a funny workout. There's no particular. It's not going to something to pitch for something or anything. It was just pure for fun.
Yeah, because I am in quarantine, hotel quarantine in Sydney before I could see my family for 2 weeks. And as an artist and a creative in a very beautiful space, I was wondering what I could do with it to show everyone like where I am and make the most of this time. So I've just been shooting funny videos.
That's awesome.
It's really just for my own entertainment, to be honest, but also to share and hopefully make some people laugh.
What brought you to quarantine was that you were born in the United States, but you grew up in Australia, correct?
Yeah, so born in Walnut Creek, Northern California, and had my first birthday in Australia. Yeah, so I was raised 18 years on the farm, came back to California like 2 months after I graduated high school. I was ready to come back.
You had vacationed and traveled to the U.S., I would imagine, a few times?
Yeah, so my dad would come visit me once a year for a month to travel around Australia and catch up. And so as soon as I was able to travel solo, I did. So I think I was 13 when I first started traveling to California to visit him and my American family.
Oh, wow. Well, I bet that was this literally a farm, meaning like you didn't have 1,000 neighbors within a quarter mile or something? I mean, you were out in the middle of nowhere kind of farm?
Yeah, our 1,000 neighbors were sheep. Actually, there were more like 100,000. Lots of sheep.
You grew up on a sheep farm?
Yeah.
In Australia?
Yep, sheep station, Barata station. It was, gosh, I don't know how many tens of thousands of acres, but it was a huge, huge property, an hour from town. So our nearest neighbor, I think, was half an hour away.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. So, when did you get the, I don't know, like, when did you know you wanted to be in film and creating film? And, those could all be different, but I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype here. I'm just thinking to myself, farm, in the middle of nowhere in Australia, but with California connections there, right? So, where did all that start for you?
Gotta love the California connections. That sounds like it should be a new app or something. And by the way, I'm also live chatting with people that are watching on the stream. So if I'm looking and typing, that's what I'm doing. And I'm
Yep.
spelling very poorly because I'm like
You're-
splitting my time. So
You're
don't
doing
judge
it
me on
better
my
than me.
spelling. I'm a better
Because I
writer
forgot
than
there
that.
was a chat.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Good.
I'll hold it down for us both.
Thank you.
Yeah, so growing up on a farm, a very remote, isolated farm, watching movies was my escape and my connection to the rest of the world. So I really got inspired by watching VHS tapes like Titanic, Forrest Gump, Moulin Rouge, all these movies that were so big and expansive and very inspiring to me. And I thought I wanted to be a director because I like to be in control as a Capricorn. But then I also wanted to be an FBI agent, a CSI, a vet, a pilot. I wanted to be all these things. And my dad wanted me to be a lawyer. So I was like, great, I can do it all as an actor. I'll make you all happy.
I like it.
Yeah.
Did that actually
Wait, Charlie's
make
here?
them
How
happy?
does this work? I have a friend, my best friend from high school is in the chat through Facebook, I guess. I don't know how this is happening. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Stop. I'm going to die.
Do you want to?
These are people from my past that I love, and yeah, I'm derailed right now. I can't.
No, you can be derailed all you want. This is awesome. They should sign up at HAPS and come in the real chat.
Yeah, come join us, guys. Yeah, they're in the chat. So hi, Charlie and Hilsey, my friends from high school. I'm coming for you soon. Trouble's about to come back to town. Get ready.
Awesome. And they can only hear you, like you can't type back to them, I guess. So I've never quite figured it out, but we can talk. They type and you talk just the same way. But that's awesome. So these are friends from high school and you're going to go see them soon.
Yeah, it'll be a reunion. It's been a couple of years since I've been home because I was in Uganda last Christmas instead of coming back, and then the pandemic. So it's been a while. So I've got a lot of making up to do.
I like it. Just a quick hello. Got to run.
Yeah, Charlie, stay in Denny till I get there. We'll catch up.
Well, let's go back to the film there. That was fun. Will you have to quarantine upon return? Coming to the U.S.? Nah, they'll probably expose her to the virus just for the fun.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of the world is concerned about the dirty Americans. The dirty Americans are not concerned about the rest of the world.
Exactly. Oh well, how times have changed. The upstart rabble-rousing prisoners down under are now taking us to task over here. So the filmmaking. How did we leave that? What got you the grandeur of it? I think was what you were saying.
Yeah, just watching those movies growing up on the farm inspired me to be in them. They also made me want to do more with my life, and yeah, they really inspired me. So luckily I had that California connection, as you mentioned, because my dad's from there. So yeah, as soon as I graduated high school, I ran over as fast as I could. I actually wanted to go to high school in America, but my mom taught me if you start something, you got to follow it through, got to finish it. So yeah, I had to graduate high school. It was not a fun experience for me. There's highs and lows, but it was it's difficult, but it shaped me into who I am today.
Right. Well, that's really good. So you pretty much had been going to school and living with 100,000 sheep for the first 18 years of your life, with a vacation or hanging out with dad, once in a while. And then you come to California and you're just probably 18 or 19, right? Yeah,
I was 18. Yeah, because I graduated high school at 17. Then a couple months I went to New Zealand, and as soon as I hit my 18th birthday, which was really sad because in Australia, when you turn 18, it's basically your 21st. You're legal to drink. So
Oh,
as soon as I was legal to drink, I went to America and I had to wait 3 more years to become legal again. It was very disappointing. I had the worst fake ID ever.
well, how quickly did you get into, and maybe you already were, but how quickly did you get into the thick of it with modeling and the beauty contest and eventually, obviously, acting and stuff? Like you were jobless, I'm assuming, when you got to America.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny that Charlie was in the chat because we stayed in touch for years after I moved, and I just worked a lot. I worked in a Guess store, in the outlets, which is funny because when I would visit California, Guess was my favorite store, and I would always buy a lot to bring back home to Australia because it's really cheap. And it's cheap to shop in America compared to many other countries. Plus, the outlets were even way cheaper. So I would come home and they all thought I was rich because I was buying Guess, because Guess in Australia is almost like designer prices.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, come back with all my goodies. So I worked in a Guess store and I worked at a Gold's Gym. So I worked a lot to save up to move down to LA because that was up in the Bay Area. So, and then I was bored at work one day at the gym, at Gold's Gym. I used to work the reception, and somebody told me that I should get into modeling. And I thought that was so far from any possibility because growing up, as a scrawny, awkward teen, had pimples and was just so awkward as a kid. I was also brunette. I am naturally brunette. So I was not cute at all. And the fact that, somebody thought I should try modeling, I was like, okay, I'm in California, fresh start. Why not? I'll try it out. I started to go blonde as I started modeling. And then I entered the Miss California pageant as just on a whim, bored at work one day at the gym. And I actually got in, but it was only probably, I think we had 2 months to prepare for the pageant, where most pageant girls have a year, or years they're preparing.
Or their whole
but
life.
I was exactly
right.
Yeah. It's a serious business, and I had 2 months to prepare because I was a late entry. So I approached my boss at Guess and I asked them if they would sponsor me because it takes a lot of money, a lot of effort. You've got to get the dress, you've got to do a lot of work, like fake tanning and doing your hair and makeup. I didn't know how to do any of this. So Guess was amazing. They sponsored me and flew me down to the headquarters in LA, and that built my relationship with them. It helped me get into modeling. They asked what I wanted. I said I'd love for my family from Australia to come to see me in the pageant. So they flew my mom and sister from Australia. So I'm indebted to Guess. I worked my way up, started from the bottom. Now I'm here, going to be on the billboards one day. So yeah, that's my come up story from the farm to
it's a good
modeling.
Come up story. It's a good one. That's really great. And yeah, we met through Clubhouse, which our story has been told many times. I think just I know you'll be on those billboards. Everything that I've come to know about you in this time that we've known each other, which in Clubhouse time or Haps time is a long time, but in the real world isn't very much, and we don't hang out much. But you're very determined. Like if you put your mind to something, it's going to happen. And what was that? What was that like when you were trying to come up? I mean, what did you do to kind of stand out that you think that got you to Miss California, and then what got you beyond that? What's it about you that?
I wasn't sure if you were finishing and I cut you off because the delay. I guess, and I didn't know this growing up, but since moving to Vancouver, I got kind of witchy with it and studied astrology. And I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns are very, very determined. We're the mountain goats, right? So we're climbing to the top of that mountain. We're very stubborn and we don't stop till we reach the top. That sounds like a rap. I definitely fully embody that Capricorn mentality of I'm so determined to reach the top of that mountain. Nothing is stopping me. So there's that element, but also just I think the belief that my mother instilled in me of I'm capable of anything and I deserve the world. And it's not an entitlement thing. It's just a feeling that you're worthy and feeling that you're deserving of good things. So I've always felt that. And I guess my mum had a lot to play into that, because she just raised us so well to respect ourselves, respect others, and to know that we're capable of anything. So I just never doubted myself. I just set my sights on a goal ever since I was a kid, and I just knew that's what was going to happen. Like, it's just a fact. It was just meant to
Well,
be.
that's good. I think for all of us on different levels, we have felt something that you just knew was going to happen, and manifesting that and making it happen is an absolutely a beautiful thing. I think one of the really interesting things on this little bit of a journey for me from 90 days ago, not really having any connections with people in Hollywood or anything other than media stuff over the years, and now being able to just meet amazing people like you and this this community that that we have kind of here, and the community that we have, like especially like in places like Clubhouse. What's your networking game like now? Like, because I know, well, you do a show every week in Clubhouse, right?
Yeah. So networking through the pandemic has actually been even better for me, because I mean, Clubhouse has just elevated it to a whole new level. It's like networking 2.0, because you can be in a room with hundreds of people now, and when you speak, they're all listening. Because
Right.
if more than one person is speaking on Clubhouse, it just becomes, you just can't hear. So, it's one mic rule. So you're actually able to reach so many more people. And I'm able to rub shoulders with and be equals to a lot of people in the industry that I couldn't reach out to before. These are directors and producers of legitimate TV shows and movies that we know and love. And because I have a weekly film talk show with my friend Kat, who I've known for years, and we're developing a show together, like a TV show or a web series, I am able to offer something now. It's not coming from a position of want or need. I'm actually coming from a position of offering a stage for people to use their voice. So now people are coming onto our show, not me wanting or needing to be on their show, which it will lead to that eventually. That's what we're focused on, is to build these relationships that will parlay into real life opportunities and jobs. But for now, while the pandemic is still going on in America, at least, it's just building those connections and relationships and being very genuine and real. I'm not trying, like, there's many people on Clubhouse are just hustling to make some money, and I'm not really focused on making money. I'm focused on making movies, and it's really exciting to be able to network with real legitimate people there.
Yeah, it is. It is very exciting, and I like that. I'm not here, in it for making money. I mean, you'll make bank. It'll be good to be paid, but you're in it for making movies, and that is 100% what I think. Obviously, there are people that are good at their craft, I suppose, and they're purely motivated by money. But I've met very few creative people that were strictly about money. It's usually about the craft, the art, the feeling that you get from it, what it does to you. What is it about filmmaking that, between as an actor, as a filmmaker, as a cinematographer, as a with your last movie,
if you can call shooting on my iPhone being a cinematographer, I feel like that's a great disservice.
Yeah, Darian.
Sorry.
Darian, those people shoot full-length features on iPhones these days. So
it's possible. Yeah.
What do you think you're the best at as a filmmaker, actor, writer, director, producer, business person, and then what do you like the most?
Well, I'd hope I'm the best at acting, because that's first and foremost what I want to do and be known for. But I think writing would be my strong suit, because that's how I identify myself. That's what I identify as, a writer. So, because growing up, I used to write a lot of creative stories, essays, poems. My mom recently sent me a a certificate I won in high school of this like Nestle, poetry competition, this international contest that I won. So I love writing and I love acting. So I guess those would be the things that I'd like to be known for. Eventually directing. I think that would be incredible. But, I have mad respect for directors, that they're the captains of the ship, and I'm not there yet. I'm still one of the shipmates. So maybe I can, learn from some directors on set and eventually get to that point. But I would say acting and writing and I guess producing, produce movies in the past. And I'm able to get funding because people believe in my vision, and I usually have a message behind my movies, so they're investing in that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I am cautious to not be, labeled as too many things, because I know when you're starting out, people get a bit confused by that. So I think, so it's an interesting thing to navigate, but it is very empowering to be able to create your own content. So I guess just an actor, filmmaker.
But well, I guess just to me, a really good actor and a pretty good filmmaker that's learning and knows that she has more to learn. That's pretty good, because I meet a lot of people even doing this that, like, oh yeah, I'm born to direct. I'm like, dude, you're 18. Just get a job, doing a few things, but maybe you are, and they have it and they do. So who am I to judge? But you know where you need to be. And I think that's a good thing, because that'll make you a better filmmaker. What is the, so you acting, and what is the thing that drives you to put this extra in your films about, there's an extra layer of motivation or, some meaning to the film. What kind of puts that in your films? What's that about?
Well, I won't go too much into it because it's very heavy, dark, and sad. So I don't really want to go in that direction today. But I've been through a lot of loss, a lot of tragedy, a lot of grief, depression, and anxiety. So for someone who, especially as an artist who feels all the feels and has very deep emotions, I had to transmute that into something else. I had to convert that into something creative. Otherwise, it would just eat me alive.
Right.
Yeah. So probably that.
Yeah.
Coming from a very dark place.
And that's what I was
and having to.
Sorry, the delay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the delay kills me. And just having to find a way to process and move that energy as to not let it consume me completely.
Well, because that is actually, I really appreciate that. Seriously, even pretty heavy for just a tiny piece of the bigger heavy piece, I feel that there with you. And that's why I was just leading up to the film 40 Seconds here that I thought we could talk about a little bit and share a clip with, if you still feel like doing that. Because I think it's you and I met because I took an interest in your passion for things around mental health, having been homeless and being bipolar myself and stuff. That was why I reached out to you. So it's actually been a culmination of, we've done a lot of fun things in between to be at this moment where this is why I reached out. So yeah, so we'll keep it upbeat and happy as we can here, but this film here, should we just show the trailer?
Yeah, I would love that. Okay. Well, I just sip my little kitty apple juice.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna run this. We'll be back. It's maybe less than 2 minutes, I would imagine. I'm going.
I wish I had told you every day that I was there for you.
I'm sorry, it's just bad timing, your friend.
No, you're right. She totally could have picked a better time to kill herself. Are you okay? Got nothing else to lose.
True. Your phone is already gone.
Are you going to keep doing this? Making me question my own sanity? The longest I've gone without thinking about you is 40 seconds.
And we're back. Well, I know. So with that film, you wrote and acted, but you didn't direct that one. Am I right?
No, I had sorry, never have a swig of apple juice before you go live again. That was so
Oh my
dangerous.
goodness. Yeah.
I'm crying, and not from the trailer, but from my throat. Okay. No, I had an incredible local Vancouver director, a woman, Anissa Visa, direct that short, and it was very important for me to find someone who aligned with the message, and she has had her own mental health struggles, as have I, so we really connected on that, and I knew that story would be authentic and true to her, so she would know how to respect the storyline, and she helped me tweak the script, co-write it with me. So yeah, I was really proud to have a female director, female AD, female cinematographer from Mexico City, Belen Garcia. She's amazing. Female PAs, heavy female cast. Like it was really a big moment for me because I want to help advocate for women on and off screen. And I was also very proud to have a vegetarian and almost vegan set as well, because I just think that it's really important for me as an artist, as a filmmaker and an actor to be, walking the walk and not just talking the talk, because I advocate for a lot online, but it's important to actually put that into place on your set as well. For any filmmakers out there, you have a huge influence as a producer to really craft this environment, and you don't know what kind of impact you'll have on others just by setting an example. And yeah, I was just really happy with the way it all worked out.
Well, that is really that I didn't catch all of the so many roles being filled by women when I was looking at the credits for the film there.
Yeah, there's not many cast members because it was such a,
right,
I guess, an isolated story, but it was my friends in the end that were on the hike. So it was a group of, I think we had 6 women that were part of that like hiking support group, and they were my friends that I was happy to have on screen with me.
That was nice. Where did you guys shoot that at?
That was just outside of Vancouver.
That's what I thought it looked like.
Yeah,
it looked like that part of the world.
Yeah, White Cliff Park, I believe it's called. And, we were about a week from shooting and we didn't have a location because, even though we did have a budget and I had producers, it was a small budget. So everyone's still living their lives. And I realized I kind of just had to put on my big girl pants and go find the location myself. And so I had a friend help me because I didn't have a car in Vancouver because it's a very easy city to get around with public transport. And so I had a friend just take me to that park because I heard it was beautiful. And as soon as I got there and started walking around, I was like, this is it. And there was a seal on a rock that looked at me. It was this beautiful white seal, like this gray and white seal. I'm like, okay, that's a sign. This seal is so beautiful. And he's just looking at me, and I just felt like, okay, this is it. I take the signs where I'm given them. So yeah, that's it.
Are you the producer on that? Did you produce that?
Yeah, so I am a co-producer. I've had a great team with me. So I had a few amazing people helping produce 40 Seconds as well.
I think that is, I don't, not any of my business how old you are, but I kind of guess how old you are based on, when you came to America and in a pageant and everything and all like that. But like that's a hell of a lot. That is a really, really good short film. I mean, when I was in college in film school and when I started, we literally were cutting 8mm film, slicing it into pieces and scotch taping it together more or less. So, the technology wasn't the same, but we had professional 35mm cameras and stuff like that when you were in graduate school and film school, and you could make something well. But I think because we always had crews, but we didn't necessarily, we weren't going to be able to shoot 35, I mean, we couldn't afford to even get it processed, let alone cut together and everything. So I think you've always had the enthusiasm of the talent and the creatives to be able to do something. But now, you're out there making, for all intents and purposes, a miniature version of a film. It's a short film, and it has all the things that go in, into it, from the catering to the lighting, to your budget for transportation, for fuel, for all those things. And I just think it's got to make, even if you're an actor, got to make you better at your craft because you just know more about what's going on around you.
Yeah, when I'm on set, I really try and make an effort to learn about the lingo that they're saying and everyone's different role and the equipment and what the shots are called. And I'm still learning. It's a lot of language to understand and to download and try and save, because it's its own world completely. But I remember a friend told me once that they saw Nicole Kidman on set and she just knew everything about every facet of every department, and that really stuck with me because I want to be that actor that is easy to work with because they know exactly what is needed from them from a technical standpoint as well as a creative. So I think, knowledge is power. So I like learning about every different facet. The best way to do that is to make your own movies.
Well, yeah. And if you want, my friend, I have a friend, and she had her husband write his short film, but he wrote it for her, right? Like like that to me is like really cool. Like you write a film for your spouse, you know what I mean? Like, them really well. It's like when you write a song for yourself or you write a film for yourself, somebody knows you really, really intimately. So I think even producing something that you're starring in, you have to examine yourself in so many ways, and directing yourself and all of that, it's got to make you a better actor. And what else I really am enjoying that I'm finding out about you is that though you are doing these other things, you want to be an actor. That's what you want to be. Like, that's what you're hungry for. And it seems like out in LA, everybody's hungry to be something, but I don't talk to somebody that's hungry to be an actor as much. And without actors, there's not, going to be very many good films. So that craft of acting, how did you start acting? Did you take lessons when you got there? You were acting as a kid on the farm with the sheep, taking roles. Oh
my God.
And folks, she's funny as hell. We haven't even talked about her comedy yet, but anyway, keep going.
Yeah, the goofy side definitely comes from being on the farm, and I was never bored. It wasn't a boredom, but it was this space that's created when you just have a lot of time on your hands and you're living somewhere that is so expansive as a farm, and you're living on the land. Your mind and your creativity just opens up, and you aren't limited by four walls and a city, which I feel like has its own levels of inspiration. But for me, living on the land, and I felt like I could just create anything in my mind, and my imagination was so wild and vivid because of that. And so I would tape, with the VHS tape, like the old camcorder, me and my cousins doing random things like climbing trees and riding horses with my siblings and pretending that we're in the Wild West and, there's no civilization for miles, which is true. And just doing this like, found footage style little short films and whatnot. I remember filming something with my cousin. It was like late at night and we were doing this like interviewed, journalist style thing. And there was like a loud noise on the roof and it was like a possum scurrying. And then all of a sudden became like a horror movie because we were so scared. So it's just shooting random things. And then in drama class in high school, because I was always like the weird artsy kid, I never really fit in and just felt like I was always the oddball. But in drama class, I really felt at home because I could be that weirdo and be completely accepted for it. So we would shoot things in drama class as well and do improv exercises. So I loved that. And then as soon as I moved to LA, I got into class. I went to, Anthony Meindl's class. He's a great coach. I went to Studio 4, which was one of James Franco had an offshoot of Studio Playhouse West, and it was called Studio 4. Ivana Chubbuck, I studied with her. So I studied with these great teachers in all these different styles, but my favorite was probably UCB Improv, Upright Citizens Brigade. Improv taught me so much about myself, just coming up with things on the fly. It's great for life in general. Like I know a lot of people who study improv who aren't actors just because it helps people just think.
Companies
think quick.
send their business people there. Actually, like Second City and stuff, those places have had programs over the years, for corporate, brings money in and teaches people to improv, which is a good skill to have. And you're good at it.
Thank you. Oh, it's so much fun. And that's why, 50 Shades of Quarantine, that short comedy I made was just so easy for me. I didn't even have to write anything. I just set my phone up. Didn't even have a tripod at that point. I just set my phone up against like a cup or a stick or a log.
Is there a trailer? I couldn't find a trailer for that one out there. Can you think off the top of your head where one is?
Oh man, it's on Fiverr somewhere. I paid some guy on Fiverr a lot of money, not a lot of money, but more than $5 to do a trailer. I've been waiting for this trailer for months.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I'm about to give up on him and just pay someone else to do it.
Yeah, pay $10 this time. Go to tenor this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go to Hundo at this point. I just want it done.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, because that's why I couldn't find one, because I wanted to show a trailer of that. But I have to tell you, everybody, you can just go back and watch the event with Kelly last week. But every time I've seen that movie, I've only seen it by myself once. The first time I saw it, I watched it with couple of people. I mean, they weren't with me, but we were watching it, online. And then I watching the film, on the show, watching the film with you. And every time, I mean, can I be honest with you here? I'm going to be frank. I hope we're going to be good friends for a long time. But when I asked you to send me a film, and I hadn't watched it yet, and I'm like, oh shit, like, I really like Kelly and she's really good and I hope we can be friends and everything. Like, but what if the film sucks? I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
It's always a risk.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, but I think from now on, I'm going to, even with my closest friends, I'm like, do you have any films I can look at? And then I'm like, hey, would you like to enter that one in the contest, before I just blindly ask somebody to randomly send me them film? I was pretty sure it was going to be good, but I did kind of like, wow, that wasn't it. But oh my gosh. So I got to tell you too, like there are so many like just classic, like, what's her name? Sun Moon. What was her name? The
Sunrise
hippie?
Moonflower.
Yeah, Sunrise Moonflower. Like, I'm telling you, when she says her name, I'm like, oh my God, that is the perfect name for that human being. Like 100%, you could not have made a better one. And you just have to watch this film, folks. Like everybody needs to watch it. It's still kind of on the festival circuit, so it's not out yet, right? Is that it?
Yeah. So we just won at this Bali film festival called Fourth Dimension Film Festival. I entered it because I just love the name of it. And
I
it's
like
Bali.
that.
So hopefully I can go because they're going to be doing
Oh,
the
wow.
festival physically at the end of the month. And I'm in Australia, so it's very close. Bali's
Not very far.
basically our Hawaii.
Nice.
So we just won that. We also just were finalists. Thank you. We were also just a finalist at the Sydney Indie Shorts Fest, which is crazy because I'm in Sydney. But that was an online festival, so couldn't really attend that. But yeah, we're doing pretty well in the festival circuit, winning a lot of awards and still looking for distribution. So if anyone watching this knows any comedy platforms it could live on, that would be amazing. Please slide into the DMs.
And she'll say hi. You know, she answers them. And you know what? Almost exclusively now, I use Instagram because it seems like everybody on Clubhouse, you know, like not all of them have Twitter, but they all have Instagrams, and almost every single one of them will answer you back. It's pretty wild. It
is. Clubhouse is actually, it's incredible how accessible people are through Clubhouse, because it's almost like this badge of honor because they know that you're a real person because they can hear you talk. And I don't know, people just have this level of trust when you can hear someone's actual voice. So it really opens Instagram up to anyone. Yeah,
it's really neat. I've reached out to people on there, and I'm like, no way, and they do. They're like, hey, yeah, oh yeah, I saw that. You know, I heard you with that or whatever. It's really amazing, and I'm telling you.
I just had Snoop Dogg and Carol Baskin follow me over the past 2 days, and I don't know who I'm more excited about.
Wow. Holy cow. Wow. That's neat. The, was I going to say the, as much as you want to, because obviously we all have our kind of personal side, but like, who's the not Kelly that we see, you know? I mean, I don't know, like, what do you like to do or eat or anything that just like doesn't have anything to do with all this stuff in the business we're talking about, but that's something that's just all that stuff's you, but what's something about you that maybe you don't get a chance to say once in a while?
I would say the part of me that most people don't see is that very dark emotional side. Because even though I put out this very like fun, outgoing, happy personality, and it's not fake by any means, that is actually my outward personality. Internally, I do struggle a lot with, not lately, I haven't struggled with it lately, but I have a lot of bouts of depression. So there's a very introspective, dark side to me that doesn't come out very often because I don't want anyone else to feel that way. So when I'm around people, I really put out this very positive energy because I want everyone else around me to feel that positive energy. But I definitely have this, very dark side that, especially during the pandemic, even though I found my peace, which I'm so happy about, I finally found this sense of inner peace and calm where I just know everything's going to work out. I do struggle finding happiness, like true, pure joy and bliss. That is something that I'm always trying to figure out how to get. So that's probably a part of me that most people don't see. And then as far as what I eat, I'm a chocoholic. I will admit, 100% a chocoholic. Darker the better. I was about to make a joke, but it seemed a little inappropriate. But we all know what I'm thinking. So yeah, sorry, so distracted now. So yeah, I also love to go on these detoxes where I go vegan for 30 days at a time, which is really easy, especially when you're eating at home a lot these days because we can't go out to restaurants, although they are opening up in California. It's so easy to be vegan at home because there's so many substitutes to everything now. So when I'm home, I like to eat vegan. When I'm out, I'll be a little bit more flexible. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I like to eat.
Yeah, well, and thank you for sharing everything about those inner feelings. Without, I don't want to. We can stop at any time, but to me, you said something that sounds a lot like me, but for me, it's I have been, I think, a few times really, really happy, but I don't necessarily know how to get there, or that I can get there. Like, I'm pretty sure it's happened, but it is really strange for me because I see people that are happy all the time. And I mean, there are those people that are happy all the time, and that's a problem probably for them. But I'm talking about the people that are just genuinely happy all the time. And I'm like, what, what is that? Like, did I not get that
Yeah. Oh my
upgrade?
God. How do I get that upgrade?
Yeah.
Where do I get that download? Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I'm sorry you feel the same way. Because it's so
Appreciate that.
tough yeah, it's really tough to figure out, and I'm so happy that you're that vulnerable with me, because I honestly don't have this conversation with people. It's not something that is a nice conversation to have, because it brings up a lot of internal feelings.
Mhm.
But I think it is important for us to have these kind of conversations, because I didn't know that other people felt the same way. I thought everyone's generally happy, and there's levels of unhappiness and extreme happiness. But to me, it seems like the general population is at a pretty neutral happiness level, and I feel like I'm always below that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Whereas my public facing persona seems to be very happy. It's not actually how I feel internally most times. And like I said, it's not a fake thing, and it's not a putting anything on. It's just when I am around people, it brings that out of me. It brings out that very positive energy and outgoing personality. But internally, yeah, I can remember the moments in life when I was genuinely, truly happy and full of joy. And I don't know if that is something that we can have every single day, to wake up and feel that excitement that you want to jump out of bed. Like, I cannot remember the last time when I wanted to jump out of bed and felt excited, especially during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it takes me like an hour to get out of bed, because I'm just like, why?
I know.
What's the point?
Especially when you're in quarantine. But but no, I feel that because that people don't talk about it, and I'm glad we're talking about it as well, because in that we can hold the space where we feel safe to do it, and talk about it as far as we can go. These dialogues have, just personal dialogues like this even, have made such a big difference for me, because even just like in all of the times that I've spoken about mental health and stuff since I've been homeless, so it's been 11 years or so, I guess. I think you're probably the first person that I've ever actually identified that I'm like, oh, that's like really super a lot like me, about the way we feeling about happiness. This is somebody else, I'm guessing here.
Yeah. Mike Claver. I did stand up for the first time during the pandemic. So it was from the comfort of my PJs and bedroom.
Awesome.
So felt quite good doing that. So we're just responding to him because he's like, "You were excited when you did stand up for me." And that's the thing. Like, there's definitely moments where I do get very excited and really light me up, but it's temporary.
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful for those moments where I do feel alive, but I am on that pursuit of happiness to try and find out how can you have that last longer than just the moment that it exists in.
And for me, and by the way, there's another Mark out there. Mark Goldman, how you doing? Haven't seen you for, well, Mark, when it's just been a few days here, it seems like forever. So good to see you. Mark is the CEO, although you might have met him before. You've been around a couple times. So Mark, actually, did you do the Could You Fall in Love with a Robot? You did that.
Yeah,
so you met Mark. You actually met Mark.
Yeah, I did. Hi, Mark.
Yeah. But for me too, like that really high, not because I'm bipolar, not a manic thing, but an actual happiness thing. That seems so far up from where I am most of the time. It seems like it would take like Elon Musk to like build a rocket, to get me there. And he'd have to be like very precise, know the channel, because we could miss the small happiness threshold or something. But yeah, I think just in that moment of identifying that, people, a lot of times it's frustrating. And I know everybody has issues. So, and I'm just talking about myself, but it's frustrating when I can't explain it to people how I feel. They're like, I just don't get that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel good all the time. Why don't you feel good all the time? Just feel good all the time. Thank you, Mark. So yeah, it's nice to share
it's
that.
a science. It's a science, and it's the biology and chemistry of our DNA and our makeup. And some of it is actually genetic. Depression can be genetic, and suicide runs in my family from both sides. So I'm
God. Yeah.
I'm in for a real treat. But
well, I mean, when you hang around sheep for generations, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, we're not Kiwis. We're not Kiwis, okay? Don't offend me too much.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Those who know.
No, we know about those Kiwis. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, we do. Love them. Gotta love them. Like they love their sheep. So.
Oh, boy, there. 10 years ago, I could have told a joke and gotten away with it. I'll tell you later. But anyway.
Tell me off screen. We don't want to get canceled.
No.
So some of it is genetic. So we're programmed that way. Some of it is environment. And yeah, I'm trying to find that science, like to understand the science of happiness, because it really is, to me, very biological. And it is just this like perfect culmination of ingredients. Like I can remember the few times that I've really been so full of joy and happiness. And I have to also add, I think it's also geographical, which sounds really odd, but in Australia, there's a lightness to the energy here. It just feels so different to in America. And it could be because of the political climate. And to me, America is so focused on success and living the American dream that focus goes really towards success more than happiness. So people focus more on making money than being happy. But in Australia, there's just this very light energy, and I feel better here. So there is that. But the few times that I have been genuinely like really, really happy and full of joy was once, I remember, with my family in the Netherlands. And you too, Mark, good to see you. And I was with my mum's side of the family, and we were in a garden, and I was just dyeing her hair, like one of those box dyes, just dyeing her hair in the garden. I remember those butterflies and birds and like baby birds in a nest, and I was with my family, my little sister, and just chatting, and it was just such a joyful moment. It like brings happy tears to my eyes. And then other times, there's 2 times that I remember in the US, and they were both at music festivals actually with my closest friends. And it was just that experience, I guess, that connection with your friends, connection with the music and the artist, and everyone just being on that same level of this united happiness, everyone coming together. That's why I miss festivals so much and concerts, because it's this unification of all of these souls coming together to enjoy the same moment, to just be happy. So those are really fun memories of mine.
And that's very interesting too, because I know exciting, I don't know what happiness is versus excitement and emotions and these things like this, but at least in terms of personally uplifting moments, things like a city record in track, or a touchdown in football, or all these things that, like, it's not artificial, but it's like you're swept up into a moment. Those things, like even doing this, I love doing this, can feel good about it, or I love speaking in front of a big audience and a crowd because I get that energy and everything, from everybody. So the just trying to channel everyday happiness is something that I need to work on more and work on harder, because when I was homeless, I really felt like, and I struggled with this for about a year, that I didn't love myself. And with the help of some friends and certainly therapists, which I still do once a week, I really learned that I did love myself. I just didn't know how to see it. You know what I mean? I couldn't see the goodness I even had for myself. And I'm deeply empathetic. I think I'm way more empathetic than people, but I can't have empathy for myself in some way. It's just a very, it's a strange feeling. So
Yeah, I feel that sometimes too, because and it would be interesting for you to study your birth chart, because there's a lot of different elements of the time that we were born, where we were born, that all plays into this large blueprint of our lives. And understanding my birth chart helped me realize that, I'm very harsh on myself because I hold myself to a very high standard. And so because of my life path and my purpose and what I'm here for, I'm meant to be a leader of sorts. And because of that, I'm very, very harsh on myself so I can be a better person to serve others. So it's almost like this being this self-critic, and used to fill me with a lot of self-hatred. I used to really resent a lot of things that I did because I knew I could do better. So maybe that was part of your evolution, is to be harsh on yourself, because you know that you're capable of being great. And we're our own worst critic.
Yeah. I'll tell you, that is all very relevant to me. And I totally understand that. And also I made mention to, yes, because I haven't sent the email yet, but because I'm sending it to my friends that are like not in this world a little bit, and like I'm in like this much of the world that you're this much in, but but my friends like you are going to get an email basically saying, I want to do, I don't know, maybe we'll rotate people in, because I think we'll hopefully have quite a few, but I just want to call it my strongest friends, and just every female friend connection, my mom, if she'll do it, any of the women that have kind of influenced me in my life and have taken me to this point where I've now learned that, one, I need to set boundaries. Even this is a discovery I've had recently, and that I'm actually setting them. And I have just, I just want to celebrate all of the mentors that I have, because, you're a mentor to me. The work you're doing, I went to film school a long time ago. I did some commercial work and, some cable commercials and stuff like that. But I still love filmmaking. I still need to make promos for stuff like this. So I like having friends that have a lot of talent that I can learn from. So there's just a lot of people, and a lot of women, especially, that I'm appreciative to. So hopefully we can work that out. That'll be a day you can come by and stop by.
Yeah, I'd be honored to be part of that community. Thank you for thinking so highly of me.
I do. I really do. Steven Silva says, hi. Wow, I've been bad, but we haven't had a lot of people in the comments. I think we have a deficit of people in the pipeline with Periscope. A lot of P's there having gone away. So I think a lot of us are going to have to diversify and build up our followers. As we're kind of coming up.
Because you guys were part of the Periscope community and it no longer exists. Is that what you're saying?
Well, so Periscope had we fed into it, we just, like, you sign up and it goes out over Periscope. But for the people who had big Periscope followings, those folks would know you're on, so that would influence how many people were viewing you. I didn't have a really big Periscope following. So
does Periscope still exist?
No, it's gone. It's gone. Now, technically it's lives through Twitter Live, but it doesn't work or connect the same way. So Periscope was a big engine driving a lot of people's, connections and stuff. And there's a lot of people that are going to be disconnected until people can get reconnected again. So But like apps is, we're just in a beta, so I don't think they've even begun to try to get people to to really pay much attention to the platform yet while they're in beta. So once it gets further along, we'll see a lot of people again. But yeah,
Well,
the
if
Periscope effect.
if Haps wants to sponsor me, I'm pretty big deal on Clubhouse. Just
Hey,
kidding.
Mark,
But
hey,
it could help. It could help. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm open for brand deals.
Well, let's Mark, if you're here, I'll put you in touch with Kelly, and if you're not here, Kelly, I'll put you in touch with Mark. So, yeah, you definitely talk.
Cool.
You never know what people can do. I have no idea, but I do know Mark, and I do know you, so I can at least put you guys together.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So, what do you? I think. Let's see. I think I know your. Yeah, you're stuck in quarantine. What are you going to do when you get out? I was going to ask you, like, what's your next big movie or whatever, but nah, what are you going to do when you get out? Like, what's the first thing you're going to go do? Like,
yeah, let's just focus on my freedom. Let's just focus on getting Kelly free for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm up here like a princess locked up in a tower, waiting for my shining knight. Yeah, so when I get free, I've got some friends to catch up with in Sydney. I want to do a little bit of exploring here for a couple of days, and then I'm actually going to take a 9-hour train to the Outback. And then my mom's going to pick me up and drive 2 hours home. So
wait a minute.
I'm out
It's
there.
9-hour train, and then you live 2 hours from the train, and in that you go through the Outback. Like, you are a
Correct.
country girl, like a country girl. Like, you should be in like a Blake Yearwood or whatever those guys' names, video or whatever.
Yeah, if anyone wants to know what the Outback of Australia is like, just follow me and you'll be in for a ride. It is rough.
Watch out for the animals.
It's amazing.
You told me
amazing.
They're like attacking everybody.
Oh yeah, the animals, every animal in Australia wants to kill you, eat you, maim you, injure you, especially the humans. But no, it's a ride, it's a journey, but I love it. I love every aspect of it. I love long train rides. I had a long bus ride, an hour to school, an hour home every day. So that's really what expanded my imagination too and got me into books. So yeah, this has all shaped me into who I am. So I love it.
Well, that journey with books and filmmaking and I guess with everything that you've done so far and my knowledge that you are a deeply passionate, compassionate, empathetic, caring person, who's trying to make a difference in the world and obviously trying to find great success, which we know you will. But what would you say to the 10-year-old girl that that's waiting for you to arrive in the future? If you should just go back and tell her something, you could get 30 seconds with her. What would you say to yourself?
Don't be ashamed of being weird and different and unique, because that is what makes you stand out and special when you're older. So stay strong and stay focused on your goal. I highly encourage you to learn Spanish and piano, because it's going to be really hard for you when you get older.
Like that. Trust me, take piano and do Spanish. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
It's too late for me now. I still want to learn, but it's too late. Yeah, just don't. I had a lot of issues growing up with being that outcast and the kid that's, just bullied for being weird and different. But now those are my superpowers.
Yeah.
So stay strong. Hi, Lorenzo, who just called me Miss Pantaleoni's. Yep, that is my former, my professional name, Miss Pantaleoni's.
The biggest thing that I think that has happened to me in a long time is this is media. This is the culmination of everything I've done in my life, from film school to even marketing and sales and stuff like that, and having a sponsor who I failed to show her video. So I'm going to do her promo before we go so I can officially do it. And then, I'll let you go if you want to get going here, or we can stick around a little longer, totally up to you. But the biggest thing has been this. And I think we're going to see a whole new just way of doing business and everything because of things like Clubhouse, because of the pandemic, because of this independent movement. But for me, Darian, who you know, and we had the winner from 2 weeks ago on here, and he was definitely wanted to stay independent, and Darian wanted to stay independent. But of course they would, take and direct Star Wars or whatever. But like, what's the acting role like? Maybe it's not written yet, but like, is it going to be drama, comedy, action? Like, what's that dream role for you as an actor?
The dream role for me, this is what I fantasize about when I run and listen to music, is that beautiful badass like Charlize Theron or Angelina Jolie, where you're a hot chick, but you're a hot chick that actually knows what the frick she's doing when it comes to kicking ass and taking names. Like, I want you to think that I am just going to be so innocent and really like kick your ass and serve it to you on a plate. So that's what I'm going for. I want to, because I think a lot of women are underestimated, because if we're feminine, then we're seen as fragile. But I want to break that stereotype. I want to show people that you have to be strong to be a woman, because carrying and popping out a baby is no easy task. And we put up with a lot. We do the most as women. So I really want to portray those very strong, powerful female characters that can really hold their own on screen, and next to their male counterparts. So I'd love to do action, but not just, shoot 'em up action. I actually don't like or support guns, and I'm not like an anti-gun person. I grew up on a farm shooting guns. Like, I'm very, very aware of how important they are in certain situations, but I want to be kind of like Wonder Woman, where it's like you can fight with your bare hands, and obviously if you have superpowers, all the power to you, but I want to be like Wonder Woman, where she says in the latest movie, 1984, she doesn't like guns, and then she fights for justice, and she doesn't fight to kill. Those are the kind of characters I want to portray, where I'm not encouraging and advocating violence, but it's more just standing up for, the little guy, or just making sure justice is served. I'd love to be that kind of character. And then also in movies that are so big, like Forrest Gump, where it just makes you feel the expanse of the world and the weight of the world and all the different elements. I'd love to be part of movies like that are just so big and inspiring and make you feel so much and have a really positive message behind it.
Yeah, if for those of, not us, because not me, for those of you in the viewing public that I've heard of a movie theater. I mean, people did go before COVID, but my gosh, I hope they come back. I saw Star Wars the not opening weekend, but the next weekend, because my father accidentally bumped into it in Times Square when he was in New York City on opening day or something, and that theater experience is something that, again, it's the people, it's the feeling it in the audience and everything that really makes movies for me. Do you have a plan to grab that role? Does it have to be created? Is it, how are you going to manifest that? Like, you don't have to tell us if it's a secret, but like, because I'm going to be there for you. Whatever you need, I'll promote it. Whatever I need to do. I don't know very many people, but I'll call all the minor people I know and have them call the major people they know. Whatever we need to do.
It's every ticket that is sold makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So you don't have to know major people. You just need to know people.
Right. So what's it?
Yeah. Well,
What's that
okay,
look
so
like?
my I'd love to work with people like James Cameron, who are just these masterminds and visionaries. And I will. Those are definitely things that are going to happen. But I just have this feeling that I'm meant to make my own opportunities happen. That's why I've been creating a lot lately and made movies on mental health and made a comedy, because I just feel like if you have it in your heart and in your mind to be able to create and come up with something, it's almost like your duty, your responsibility is to put that into action. You're given these gifts for a reason, and it would be a shame not to make them happen. And I feel like I haven't like fully blown up yet, because I'm meant to be creating opportunities for myself. And it's almost like the universe is being like, not yet, you're not going to get it yet. You got to keep trying harder. You know what you have to do. How many times do I have to slap you around, shove you down on the ground, and you wake up?
I call the universe a her. Now, the reason is because I tell this quick little story of so God made man, and he's like, oh, ooh, yeah, oh, close, almost. And then he made women, and he's like, oh, yeah, wow, perfect. And he's about to like smote man, like don't need him. And he's about to do it, and the woman's like, wait, I might find a use for him. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, to me, the universe has to be a woman, because women are they are the driving force. We are birthed by women. We are raised by women. We are nursed and nurtured. And, we are women. Even men, are some kind of biological subset or whatever of it. Like, women are the earth is a woman, the universe is a woman. But I have that conversation with the universe all the time, because when I was homeless, she'd be like, so, yeah, you thought that was it? And then she'd be like, oh, she's pushing me back. I'm like, no, I really can't bend that far back. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no, really, seriously, this is good. The first rock bottom is fine. I'll stay right here. And then whoosh, she throws me down again, and I'm like, crap, but I know that there's a reason, like we'll get through it, but man, it sucks at the time.
Yeah, she's a harsh teacher at times, but she keeps it real, and she has a sense of humor too. If you're listening, you'll see it come through in many different ways.
Right.
But yeah, creation and creative energy is feminine. And it makes sense that the universe would be female, because like you said, all life comes from that feminine energy. And if we're going to get esoteric for a little bit, the great conjunction that we had last November, which was Saturn and Jupiter becoming conjunct, in the way that they did, only happens every 2,000 years. Now, every 200 years, they do go conjunct, but there was this specific, lining up of the stars that only happens every 2,000 years. And the last time it happened, it was the Star of Bethlehem was the Great Conjunction. And that entered in this era of this masculine energy of organized religion, a lot of corporate focus on, building business, making money, a lot of masculine energy in the past 2,000 years, which I think was needed in order for humanity to get to where it is today. But now we're entering in this more feminine energy as we leave the era of Pisces and enter into the age of Aquarius. It's going to be a much more altruistic, feminine, supportive, community-based, philanthropic era that we're entering into, where it's more about helping others and the planet, which is very needed for where we are in humanity. So I definitely feel that we're going to be focusing more on feminine energy moving forward, and having more women in positions of power, which will help heal the planet and heal humanity. Because yes, it's all about a balance, but we've been so skewed on the masculine side. We need to really throw it into overdrive on the feminine side to help heal all the issues of that overly masculine sense of things. And no, I love men, like definitely love men, but men had their place, and it's time for women to
listen,
step in.
I'm sorry, to get, whatever. I'm just keeping it real. Um, you know, look, women are in every field of higher education now. In every field, women lead, except for the hard sciences. And within 10 years, women will lead in the sciences too. So this idea of keeping women down, that shit it's just not going to fly for much longer because women are taking the lead, and seriously, they're going to have programs to get young men to go to college because women are greatly exceeding them in a lot of places. So the power is in the women, and I am 100% about supporting women. And I want to support my friend real quick, Chris Angeles, because she is the sponsor of the program. So we're going to run a quick promo here, and then we'll be right back.
Never know when I'm dreaming. Always sure that I'm awake. Then I'm running in slow motion through a river of mistakes. I'm reaching blindly. Feels like I'm holding on to something. No hands as steady as it seems. Oh, I can't be with you when the lights go out. But tell me where to meet you in our dreams.
Yeah, there we go.
She is so beautiful. I love that music
Yeah,
and that video.
she's absolutely amazing. Well, you know where my profile is. Both of her newest releases, videos are in there, and they're both fantastic. And Chris is going to be on with. Actually, it's actually here. Let's see. She did a tweet on it, I think. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a fun show with some of my folk Americana country lady friends at Crimson Sea Music and Christy Huff tomorrow evening on RevMac Live on the channel. So yeah, tomorrow night we're doing a little country folk Americana music thing, and we've done some open mic pop-up stuffs, and she's just got an amazing voice, and her tone is just fantastic. She's really good. Writes good music. They make good videos. Her sister, her twin sister Alex, has directed some of her videos, and we're going to be featuring Alex Angeles in our pop-up film festival this coming weekend, because that whole show is going to center around her. And like each week, these ideas get deeper and bigger, because like there was the first week, and then for you it was like, wow, you're going to be there. This is going to be great. We can talk to you this whole time, and we've got your film and everything. And so now with this next version of the show, it's going to be a horror fest with a contest with the horror. And then Alex Angeles, we're going to feature her work and what she's been doing. So it's just really cool, because I'm all about promoting people. So I'm able to take these things that I'm creating. Like 3 weeks ago, there was no RevMac Live pop-up film festival, and now we've had a couple of successful ones. So yeah, it's really fun, and
Nice.
they're
Well,
great.
If Chris wants to get in touch with me, my hometown is actually known for having a big music festival every year. And we also have a blues and roots music festival. And even though we're a tiny town in Outback Australia, we've had Keith Urban, Kelly Clarkson, Chris Isaac, Santana, all these people come out to my tiny little town of 8,000 people in the outback of Australia. So definitely get in touch.
Yeah, that would be wow, awesome. I need a reason to go to Australia too.
Let's do it. Let's go live out in Denny.
Oh, yeah, I could go live from there, wouldn't I? Oh, that would be awesome. Hey, Mark, are you listening?
Aussie tour.
Yeah, fantastic. Really good. The every time somebody with a real creative mind comes on here, I keep saying to them, somebody needs to write a sitcom for this format. Like, how could you just do pure entertainment in this limited environment? But I'm sure they've been trying it with Zoom and everything, but this environment's a little different, and I don't have time, or I would try. But I think people are going to find some innovative ways to use this format that we're doing here. So if you know anybody, comedy writers, sitcoms,
Yeah, I think that comedy that you played the other day when I was on was quite good. The Zoom technical difficulties.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. That was really
that
good.
gave me, that was so triggering. It was so realistic.
And what amazing editing. Like, I don't think I could have cut that movie like that. That was really good. She was really good.
Yeah, I struggle cutting my reels on Instagram and TikToks. So can't imagine what that's like.
Well, did we answer what you're going to do when you get out?
Well, I've got a couple months on the farm, so I'm just focusing on family time, meeting my
wow.
little baby nephew. My mom doesn't know this yet, but I've already picked out my project for the farm, and it's to help restore and renovate these old train carriages that she has, that they've had for probably 5 years now and haven't done anything with, because mom has a farm-to-table restaurant, and we have these train carriages as a potential B&B situation. But right now they're, pretty dilapidated, and it would cost, I think, $80,000 per train carriage to renovate. So I'm looking to help her with that. Maybe I'll just pay someone with beers or something to help me do it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure, like everything in Australia, hard to come by beer when you live 10 hours away from civilization. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that are hard to come by in a town that only has one road in and one road out. So
oh wow.
A lot of things in limited supply. Australia, please legalize cannabis already.
Do you have an Australia film in you?
Okay, so it is definitely a life goal of mine to tell the true Australian story, which is the Aboriginal story.
Mm-hmm.
So similar to maybe something like that movie Australia by Baz Luhrmann. He's a dream director of mine. I will work with him one day. So something along those lines of, a true Australian story, but really focusing on the Aboriginal perspective and point of view, because it just breaks my heart what we've done to their community, as many countries have done to their native people. So I would love to tell that story one day. That's definitely on the cards.
Well, that's awesome. That's really awesome. I keep telling Darian, I'm going to come up with $300 and double his budget for his films because he makes them so cheap. And then if he ever gets $100 million for it, I get $50 million for doubling the budget. So the story of putting that together at home, does that feel like something that you would do at a certain point, like as a personal piece, or is this something that you want all of Australia to know? Well, I would think there's a story in there that you think people need to hear, or people need to hear about the Aboriginal people in Australia. One of my perceptions, which could be 100% wrong because I'm an American, right, and things are different, but is that my feeling is that in places like New Zealand and Australia, people are, they think they're more woke than they are. Does that make sense? Do you feel that in Australia, like that the Aboriginal people still really aren't getting treated the way they should, or am I 100% wrong and things are, really good?
No. Yeah, this is going to be a story that won't just be known by Australians, but I want the whole planet to see this movie and understand this story, because it will be about the Aborigines of Australia, but it's very true to all Native people that were, you know, on the land for a lot longer than what the colonists were. And yeah, there's starting to be a lot more awareness raised towards it. I haven't lived in Australia for so long, I can't tell you exactly what's happening here. So because I don't want to give a you know, a misinformed. I don't want to speak on something I don't really know that much about, to be honest. But we definitely have a denial, and we're not really taught all the details about what happened here with the Aboriginals. We are taught about the stolen generation, which is when the English, you know, took children from Aboriginal communities to make them, you know, assimilate them into white society. So we are taught that, and we actually did have a formal apology by the Australian government to the Aborigine people. So there's progress being made for sure. I mean, it's a step ahead of what, you know, America has done. America hasn't really, I feel like after the Black Lives Matter movement, after we have a little bit more justice there, I feel that the Native American story will be the next to focus on, because that is so heartbreaking and devastating to me. I just found out recently through a documentary that played at Sundance based on the wildfires in California that they put out a bounty for every Indian, you know, Native Indian American scalp. They would pay them. So I think it was over 2 million Native Americans in California were murdered because the government actually paid people to do that. So it's just awful what we've done to the Native communities around the world. So there is progress being made in Australia at least, but a lot more work to go.
Definitely a lot more work to go, and looking forward to when that definitely starts to come together. What is the, because we talked about food before, but like there's got to be like, what's the one thing at home or just half a block away because you're stuck in the hotel, like that's Australian that you just have to eat, like because you haven't been home for a while?
There's so much. There's so much. The first things that come to mind are all the junk foods, like Twisties. Oh my God, Twisties are so good. They come in cheese flavor and chicken flavor. Shapes. There's so many different types of shapes, you know, Tim Tams, Lamingtons, mint slice. We have really good bakeries in Australia too. I actually used to work in a bakery, so I'd always, you know, bring home the dough. And really great cheesy mite scrolls. Oh, they're so good. So a cheesy mite scroll is Vegemite and cheese in this swirl, kind of like, you know, Cinnabons are an American delicacy.
Wait a minute. Cheese and Vegemite. Kind of like a cinnamon roll, only in appearance. Only in appearance.
Sure. Yeah, I guess Australians are more focused. We like savory more than sweet. So our version of a Cinnabon is a cheesy mite scroll.
The
so
cheesy savory, like whatever that's horrible paste
salty
is made of. I'll have to get used to it though.
Our Australian heritage that you're dissing there.
No. I want to come to Australia and hang out. I love Vegemite. I'm going to buy some and eat it tonight.
Good man.
Yep. That's why I can get used to it. It's actually not that bad, but it's weird.
It's definitely weird. It's very, very salty. Yeah.
The and what that is nice though, and actually that is kind of something weird that I know about Australia and the UK too is. You guys, sometimes you have crossover candies, you know, but what's actually funny is they'll do an American candy or something in Europe or something, but it'll just have the name. It won't be like the candy because they know the name will sell candy, but they know that kind of candy they wouldn't eat, you know. So the Australians have some really fun candies, you know, because you can buy anything now, you know.
One of my favorites is actually, I got it in one of my bags the other day. With my food delivery outside the door, like I'm in prison, is the crunchy. Oh my God. I was so happy to get this. This little morsel of deliciousness is like pure gold.
Oh.
But we definitely, America is known for its candy, but I have to say, Australian lollies, we call them, are of a much higher caliber. So sorry, America, but we have lollies and candies that have it's weird. In America, I just feel like everything is so processed and doesn't have much flavor. I'm going to get absolutely crucified by you Americans, but go to Australia and try the lollies there and tell me what you think. To me, they have a lot more flavor. I mean, we have Maltesers, which are your version of, the malt chocolate balls that you have at the movie theater. But the ones in America are so foul. You guys don't know what you're missing out on. Like, you have to come over to Australia and try our junk food. It's leagues above.
What was the name of that one? Crunchies? What was that
this
one
is
you
a
showed
crunchy.
me?
This is a crunchy bar, and
Crunchy bar.
Maltesers. Maltesers are just
because
so
I need to
good.
remember that, because then if I'm ever putting something together last minute and I'm trying to get you to do it and you're choosing between me and somebody else, I can win because I'll promise crunchy bars.
Yeah, crunchy bars and Maltesers, and I'll eat out of your hands. Like,
All right.
game
So
over.
I can always get you to come say hi if I have those sent to wherever you are. I love it.
Yeah, but also mint slice if we're taking requests. Mint
Orders.
slice.
I'll have somebody transcribe this for me. You can list off as many as you want.
There's so many goodies. Oh man.
Oh, that's
well,
nice.
I'm fading. I feel like I'm fading into another dimension with this light.
Yes.
Like, I'm becoming one with the universe here. So
Actually,
you're gonna lose me very soon.
The high key lighting looks nice on you. You got the face structure to carry it off. Yeah.
I feel like I'm turning into like a cartoon character or something.
Yeah, it's really, really wild blowing out the light there.
Yeah, I can't help it. I pulled down the blind, but
well, I would imagine
in
Australia. The folks out there, they're going to watch this on replay and share this with your friends in Australia, because I would love to have Australian musicians, actors, actresses, writers, scientists, anybody that wants to, come on. We can, we line up pretty well. What time is it there right now?
2:23.
Yeah.
PM.
So that's actually, it's a good time. I can, if you know any Australians, who do you think from Australia that I should talk to next that you know?
Well, my friend Rebecca Shalon would actually be great. She lives in Vancouver, but she's an Aussie actress and, hustler. She does a lot of different side gigs and works with a podcast. So I think she'd be great. I have a few Aussie actress friends that live in Vancouver and then also back here in Sydney. Might be good.
Yeah, just let me know who you got, and if you give me an introduction, it'd be great, because my whole purpose is, I do know that there are people that do occasionally watch this that, at least know people that might have good connections. So, so I want to help anybody that I possibly can, and I'm just super excited that we met a few months back, and now I'm hoping that my friend somehow ends up at a festival in Australia, and I have to go do a live remote of that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to people that have money and even want to sponsor me and us, and we make a big deal out of it. So we'll talk soon. I'm going to get you hooked up with Chris, and anytime you need anything too, you just let me know, because I'm always happy to help. So
awesome, thank you. This is great chatting with you.
Yeah, it's really fun chatting with you, and I got to say that I really, really do want to make that win the film fest and you have to take your pants off thing work, but I don't think every winner is going to want to do it. So at least we had yours for the first one.
You're going to get into a lot of trouble if you try and make that a thing, Rev.
No, we're
Do not recommend.
We're not going to make it a thing, but it was very cute.
Pants off Pantaleoni is the only one that can pull that off.
Yeah, and it was very fun, and very much appreciate you a lot. And I'm sure we'll see you again pretty soon.
Yes, awesome. Can't wait. Bye, everybody.
And you could just stay right here. I'll take us both out. Everybody, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you very soon. Thanks, Chris. All right, everybody, peace be with you, and namaste.